it's your favorite stay-at-home mom, Ken, and this is pretty much my first official video. I have several shorts, but this will be one of my first videos, and today actually marks 1 week since I've been weaning my 13-month-old son. He is my fourth child, second son, and yeah, I usually breastfeed for 2.5 years, and this time it was a little bit different, or it had to be a little bit different because he's number four, so that means I have three other kids that I have to attend to. And he was just like any of the others that would breastfeed. He was serious about his milk and serious about his boobs, and it was a lot on me mentally and emotionally, physically. You don't sleep much. I felt like I haven't slept in the last 13 months, like a good 8 hours straight. And then maybe even before that, because once you're pregnant, your last couple trimester, your last trimester actually, you are uncomfortable. So it's been a long time that I've actually gotten to really sleep and wake up refreshed, because I have to wake up to feed a baby every couple of hours. But it's been a good journey, and it had to come to an end. I just had to, you know, do what's best for me. So the first night, what I did was I just made him a bottle, but I used milk. I did whole milk. At first, no, I did almond milk, and I thickened it up a little bit. I used the baby oatmeal just to just to help him to sleep longer, to fill him up a little bit. And every time he would wake up and cry, I offered a bottle, and he would, totally crash out. He cried like the entire night. It was a lot. It was exhausting, and not to say that it made me want to give up, but it was a lot, which is what I knew because I've had prior experience. But that first night, it was hard. The next night after that, he realized, okay, well, maybe this isn't a thing anymore, because I, had to go the whole day without giving him breast milk. So I guess he realized, okay, well, this is not what we're doing anymore. So I just kind of rocked him to sleep, and he would wake up. I'd offer the bottle, and he would take it. I know he wasn't happy to actually take it, but he knew that he had no other choice, and we did that. He slept longer. It was a longer stretch, and the, it's just been getting easier and easier. And it's actually been my easiest child to wean. Actually, maybe because I've been so over it, or because I know that I have no other choice. But yeah, it's been pretty easy so far. And like right now, he's sleeping, and I'm out here in the car. And if I was breastfeeding, I wouldn't even be able to be out here, because he would be on my boob, and I would be cuddling him and coddling him the whole night. So yeah, that's really just where we're at. And it's been emotional as well, because anybody that's breastfed for long periods of time, like I said before, I breastfed for 2.5 years. You build a bond, and it's sad. And I think the second night that he was sleeping, he wasn't in his crib, but I was holding him, and it was like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I looked at him and I realized, like, wow, like he's really understanding what's happening here. And I won't say that it made me sad, but I just kind of like reflected, like, this is my last baby. This is the last. Yesterday was the last time that I breastfed. In back last week, when I was actually, I think it was the second night. So that's what I was saying to myself. Wow, yesterday or whatever was the last time that I would be breastfeeding. It was sad to see him scream and cry and pretty much have a tantrum. So that was a little bit emotional. But I did know that and I do know that I have to put myself first. And this is where we are. And he's just as happy. He's happy throughout the day. I guess in the middle of the night or wherever, whatever, he kind of, I won't say he's sad, but he is, missing something, which I totally understand, and it's gonna take a while. And yeah, that's what it is. And the first maybe 3 days, my breasts were like huge and really engorged, and it was miserable. Like, I was almost to tears. Like, that's how bad it was. And I was telling myself I would just let it dry up. I didn't want to pump, because pumping or feeding him is gonna make your body produce more milk. So I tried to hold off as long as I could, but it was like excruciating. So I ended up pumping. But when I did pump, I didn't express all my milk. And I make a lot of milk. So my breasts were huge. I probably could have did at least 6 ounces. I only did it maybe about two and a half, three max on each side because I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to keep producing. But it's been a week now, and I could say maybe after 4 days or so, it gets better. They're still hard, they're still sensitive, but they're not filling up like they used to. So that's been helpful a lot, knowing that my milk is drying up, and yeah, it's just the end of this journey, and I just wanted to share what I'm going through for any other moms that's out there, tired, stressed out, overstimulated about weaning. You know, leave in the comments any questions that you may have. Like I said, this is not my first time breastfeeding. Is I have 4 kids. He's number 4, and I think that I have a lot of good answers and a lot of different, pieces and advice that I could give. So just comment down below, and don't forget to like and